That's right here at Tehmina, Kaoosji and Jessy Chahal taking you through. In this very interesting and special segment, we have a fellow colleague on board in the organisation from
right.
Triple N. We are joined today by Andrew Sebastian. Do tell us more about him.
Yes, so basically Andrew Sebastian is going to be joining us. He's in the hot seat right next to us, and we're going to be talking all things conservation. Now, Andrew is also himself the co-founder and CEO and a nature guide for Ecotourism. So he marries those two passions together with journalism to bring us a broader picture of what's going on environmentally in Malaysia and also the path ahead for conservation of nature.
Welcome on board,
Right.
Andrew.
Wow.
Thanks for
That's
being
a
with us.
But it's a mouthful,
It's a mouthful, yeah.
but do you feel that properly represents what it is you do and what you're here to do at
Yes,
Nam
it
News
is.
Network?
And when I was offered, and I grabbed it because I think there needs to be a voice for the environment right now.
That's right.
And this is
a
the best
loud
platform.
voice. We have many people sort of whispering, but really nothing's being done. What is it from your perspective? Where do we lack?
Well, I think it also is an institutionalized thing. From days ago, very difficult to talk about environmentalism because it is basically third or fourth or fifth
Down the list.
down the list of priorities.
Yeah.
Now with the new political scenario,
Yeah.
everybody can have their say. I can
That's
come
right.
on Bernama and I can say stuff.
Okay, but having your say is also quite different
Right.
from being able to move towards actionable solutions.
Yes.
Now, Andrew, you are an accomplished naturalist, environmentalist, established certified nature and bird guide. So you've been working in this arena, grassroots.
For 25 years.
Yes. So what do you see are the opportunities that Malaysia needs to get on board over other commercialized interests, such as maybe establishing a third car brand, moving forward in economics and technology? What about nature?
So we're going to go there, right? Okay. First and foremost, it is not just a critique, that Malaysia, we have a good brand, we have a good name. We are ranked 12 in the world as a mega diverse country. So which means between the 12 countries, we hold 75% of all known biological wildlife and plants on planet Earth. 75%. We hold a monopoly, basically. Yeah, and almost all the countries in the 12 are taking advantage of ecotourism. That is sustainable economics for the local man in the street, as well as the hotels and the airlines. It goes. Everybody makes money from that.
Across the board.
Across the board, it's sustainable. Yeah, ecotourism. If you follow if you adhere to the principles, you do not harm the very golden goose that lays these beautiful eggs for us every day, we can laugh to the bank years and years to come. People in Africa, Ecuador, I'm not talking about people with giant mega twin towers in their backyard, They have nothing like that.
Yeah.
But yet, our Bushman friend in the Kalahari enjoy the fruits of ecotourism every day. Truckloads of people go to his little village, and they pay him money to watch his culture, to assimilate themselves for at least a few hours to see how they dance, how they prepare the food, and so on. And every day he does it, he laughs to the bank.
But is this happening on at least a smaller scale in Malaysia? You also initiated the Royal Belem State Park Conservation back in 2006.
Right. Yeah, we are trying to get us there, because there's a group of us, a lot of good people around our country who's trying to get us there.
But what seems to be the stumbling blocks, or rather, from the authority point of view, what is it that is not being properly done?
Well, you have natural resources, you have politics. Yes?
Clash.
It doesn't seem to want to gel with each other.
Okay, but that's a big price to pay because we are sacrificing what's our national treasures.
Right.
Now, when you speak about national heritage, we speak about politics, I think economy always comes as the middle ground. Now, economically speaking, though, Malaysia is a powerhouse when it comes to natural resources. We're one of we're the second largest palm oil exporter in the world. It's definitely a very large industry.
But you have a take on that, yes.
We came up with a statement very recently. This is with regards to the call, the EU. I won't name the countries, but some countries are threatening to take oil palm out of the equation in terms of a biofuel.
Yes, by 2020. The vote's already won through.
Yes. So a lot of people are getting upset. The Prime Minister himself has said some stuff like that. I think we are looking at it from a negative point of view. To be said, the oil palm industry has not been a good boy. They've been devastating to the environment. They've taken down so much of natural forests.
That's right.
They've turned our beautiful green landscape a source of ecotourism, our sustainable they talked about. Yeah, they taken this and they turned it into a monoculture, standalone ecology.
So we'll go into the threats of monoculture in just a little bit. But first and foremost, though, the palm oil industry, the government does also need to take a stand since it contributes to directly, indirectly, livelihood of up to 750,000 Malaysians.
Yes.
So that's
The oil palm,
an incredible chunk of people.
Let me just say it. I said it in our website. The oil palm itself is a beautiful plant. It is a beautiful plant. It is commercially very viable. It's fantastic.
Multi-purpose as well.
It gives humanity a lot of good things. You know?
Yeah.
But put it in the hands of greed, put it in the hands of mismanagement. Corporatization. What happens? We see a lot more. We are killing the golden goose.
Okay, so we've highlighted the problems.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Solutions.
about the solutions now.
Okay.
If you could propose a couple of good solutions, and I'm sure you have many in your pocket, what may some of them be?
Well, ecotourism. That's number one.
But done right, though.
Done right, though.
And
The-
what would that
the
entail?
hundreds of villages that bordering all the forest reserves, inside national parks, the communities that live there, they live a unique lifestyle. People will want to pay money to go and adventure,
That's right.
to go and watch, to go and observe. Not to simulate so much, yeah. To go and observe, yeah.
To go and observe,
And
yes.
and when people go and to places like this, they want a comfortable place to stay. So they need the big hotels. They need transportation. They need a flight to get in, you know, and they pay their income tax. They pay their tourism tax and so on. So
Yeah.
much of products can be highlighted from our forests to our waterfalls.
And all the way to actually contributing to Orang Asli and Orang Asal
Yes.
development, right?
Yes.
So
To
that
let them
would be
actually
the key.
take charge of some of that as well, because it is their environment, it is
That's
their space. What else would you like to add on? I think I'm sure you have a lot to say. I know you do.
Yes, I know. Because I grew up in FRIM,
Yeah.
Forest Research Institute, 20 years. Never had neighbors. Forest, you know.
Wow.
And next to FRIM was Sungai Buloh and the old RRI, Rubber Research Institute, you know. And I heard this researcher once tell us when I was very young, with modernization and with good know-how, we don't have to use so much of acreage to produce X number of rubber.
Right.
I would think the same would go for oil palm. I'm not an anti-oil palm lobbyist, you know, but I've been watching oil palm and rubber take over our natural landscape for far too long.
That's right.
And they've gone, and the calls for us to actually rationalize, stay away from river reserves, stay away from unique ecosystems have gone unheeded.
Don't contribute to deforestation, but that's mostly just stayed as an ideation. In practical reality, though,
Yes.
you've got corporations still going in. The Malaysian Palm Oil Council has also been doing some good work in
Yes,
ensuring
yes,
that
yes.
the palm oil plantations are actually sustainable.
Right.
Do you think we will actually eventually move on from monocropping into perhaps also including coconut oil?
Well, the idea is
Should
good.
we?
The idea is good. But we don't see a lot of integration to natural resources.
Right.
We don't see the convergence. We see a big giant industry jumping in to say, that's just a forest.
But at the same
It's
time,
wasted,
I
you
will
know.
be ethical about it. But,
Right,
but there's,
yes.
there's no marriage into
Yeah, there's a disconnect. You know?
Yeah.
So the bridge is not happening. Now, in the arena of wildlife conservation, for example, okay, we've got Harimau Malaya as a national brand,
Yes.
a national ethos.
I
Our
always say
identity.
this,
Yes.
why
Identity,
do
yes.
we not then go the extra mile to ensure that, we're walking the walk and actually really preaching what we,
That's right.
what we
The
say?
question is why. So when Europe tells us, hey, you've been bad, we're going to ban your products, you've been bad. Do you take step one and says, hey, we have been bad. We could do better.
And what's
Rather
happening
than
on the
be on the
ground, though?
defensive,
For
right?
example, WWF's conservation programs for tiger conservation have been working fantastically in areas like Nepal, but it also has full buy-in from the local population. What's missing in Malaysia?
Enforcement, I can tell you.
Enforcement-wise,
Yeah.
and even local community-wise, that
Yeah.
is meaning the program still doesn't reap the
Yes.
results.
Political will. So
Okay.
a lot of NGOs have done good work. They try every day. And right now, there are people in the forest trying to help take down snares and so on.
Yeah.
But the fact is, our tiger population is dwindling. It's coming now very dangerously low, where it won't be a viable population anymore in 5 years to come, 10 years to come.
Okay, so Andrew, to wrap it up, because we're running short of time, tell us in a nutshell, what would you like to see for the next 5 years happen strategically for
And
Malaysian
also what
environment?
we can look forward to in your new role here at
That's right.
at NNN.
Well, the upcoming piece would be on ecotourism, basically.
Okay.
I'm offering people or the government of the day a chance to talk about, hey, let's try to invest some time into talking about an alternative. We can produce everything, you know, from second national cars to oil palm or rubber or whatever it is. But let's marry that. Let's balance that.
Let's integrate
there's
it.
no balance, you know. So I hope in the next 5 years we see a balance.
Right.
People are saying our quality of life is actually linked to us protecting our natural resources.
Brilliantly
That's
put.
right. You know what? This reminds me of a quote: "Ask not what can be done, but what you can do." And I think you are definitely an example of that. Doing,
And
I
living
wouldn't say
that quote.
little, but doing a lot of what you can, and really starting that dialogue and knocking on the right doors. Thank you, Andrew. It's a
All right.
pleasure to have you in the
Thanks for having me,
studios.
ladies.
Well, guess
that
we
was-
take a quick break.
Yes, we do. So that was Andrew Sebastian joining us here on at Bernama News Channel. We will be right back after the commercial.